still order all sorts of things on Amazon, toy pillows, sunscreen. Well, it won't be long before this stuff can start being delivered by drone in West Valley neighborhoods. Delivering packages by drone is not something new, but Amazon wants to take it to new heights.
What this does is it lifts off.
John Pombier is a senior manager with Amazon Prime Air. On Wednesday, he gave us an up-close look at their new high-speed drone, the MK30. The drone stands about 5 feet tall, can travel 65 miles an hour, and deliver a package 5 pounds or less in less than 60 minutes.
It's exciting because it's the first time we're integrating drone service into our fulfillment centers. So this is an add-on. We still have the traditional models. You can still order it and get it within 2 days with Prime. But for certain type items, we can deliver it within an hour. So it's an added benefit for Prime members.
Amazon just announced plans to start using their high-tech drone to deliver packages in and around their fulfillment center off 107th Avenue and Van Buren in Tolleson. The goal is to get the service up and running, then gradually expand to other communities. Amazon has been providing drone delivery service in College Station, Texas, and Central California, and Arizona is the next step in expanding the Air Prime program. The new high-tech drone uses sense and avoid technology that allows them to detect and avoid obstacles, including people, pets, and property. But what about the noise? Arizona's family heard from a number of neighbors in Glendale last year that were not happy with drone delivery from Walmart, complaining that the drones were disruptive to their community. Amazon execs insist the new drone is much quieter and should not be a problem. Tolleson residents we spoke to don't sound real concerned. Do you have any concerns about noise or nuisance or anything like that?
No, not at all. Like I said, as long as they come on time, then I really have no problem with anything.
What do you think about Amazon delivering packages with drones?
Well, I think it's great, something different. I think it's going to be a good thing for the neighbors here, for the neighborhood.
There is no set date for when Amazon's drone delivery will start in the West Valley. A lot depends on the FAA. The hope is to get these packages delivered by drone by the end of the year. In the West Valley, Jason Berry for Arizona's Family.